Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is another episode for Writer's Diary, where I talk about things that are affecting my writing practice at any given moment. So recently, I would say in the past couple months, I have fallen into reading a lot of Natalie Goldberg's work as far as her work pertaining to writing practice, and that is she defines it as writing, setting a time limit and writing nonstop for that time limit, which is similar to Morning Pages from Julia Cameron, which I think came after Goldberg's first book, but it's not, there's no rules as to like first thing in the morning, and it's not really stream of consciousness. Goldberg talks about making a list of topics and picking from that, and you know, you could actually be engaging in it as creative writing, which, I mean, technically you could as with Morning Pages as well. So I read Natalie Goldberg's Writing Down the Bones, which I know is kind of a staple a little bit in writing communities, and I also read her book, Thunder and Lightning. I'm currently reading another one. I will put it in the description because I don't have the title in front of me, but I've not made it very far into that one. I will say that I really like her writing style. It's very straightforward. There's no like flowery language. There's no pushing things too far. I've been studying a lot about Zen Buddhism lately, so Goldberg is actually a Zen Buddhist, and that applies heavily in how she teaches writing, and she talks about it a lot, and the fact that sitting zazen is another practice along with writing practice that is like very embedded into her life. And I will say that other than Morning Pages, I've only done actual writing practice a handful of times as defined by Goldberg, but I do like her attitude about writing when it comes to like writing things and then setting them free. Probably one of the things that would get me scoffed at by the writing community is the fact that I'm willing to like write something and put it out there immediately. A lot of that has to do with my ADHD and excitement when it comes to just enjoying sharing my work. I spent a long time in my years of alcoholism and recovery where I wasn't doing anything creative even though I wanted to be, and so now it almost feels like I'm making up for lost time. So Goldberg talks about this idea about writing things and, you know, being involved in and enmeshed in the story, but then setting it free, just letting it go, you know, not holding on to anything, not clinging, not grasping, which is very much something that is intermixed with the ideas and philosophies behind Zen Buddhism. So I think it's interesting the way that the things in her life overlay with this idea of writing practice and how she approaches life as a writer. I did enjoy Writing Down the Bones a lot more specifically than Thunder and Lightning, but Writing Down the Bones is the earlier book, and at that point she was more primarily a poet as far as like what she preferred to write, and then she later started had written a couple, I think 1 or 2 novels, and then obviously books about writing. Thunder and Lightning has a lot more information about things, especially if you're looking to write books or novels or something like that. And I listened to the audio version for Thunder and Lightning, and Goldberg narrated it herself, and so I also found that enjoyable because she's rather charming and funny. She adds in her own comments, and there is an interview with her at the end in the Audible version. That is really all that I have to say about Goldberg's books. I'm going to continue to read her work, and I actually ordered, since I am a tarot reader and I'm somebody who really enjoys oracle cards, the medium of playing with cards actually feels really good for me. So I ordered the prompt cards, Writing Down the Bones, the writing prompt deck that is offered. I just ordered it recently, and I've actually not had a chance to sit down and work with it, but I'm hoping to do so this week. I ordered it through Amazon because we live in a small town, and sometimes it's hard to get things delivered because we only get mail to a P.O. box. And so I was a little disappointed because the box came and it was already broken. As far as like the box that holds the cards is like ripped a little bit. But the cards look really interesting and I am excited. The only thing I guess I'm not overly stoked about is the fact that Goldberg talks, especially in Writing Down the Bones, about writing long form like by hand. She talks about using like a fast writing pen and just a spiral bound notebook, not getting like super overly attached to the idea of like the perfect notebook, which if you're like me is something that you have been on a lifelong journey with. I have definitely fallen down the notebook rabbit hole more times than I can count. But that being said, I am somebody who has a lot of chronic body pain, so if I do engage in writing practice, it'll probably be like if the writing practice or using the prompt cards has like longer time limits, it might be something that I type at the computer simply because of my physical capabilities. But my hope is that also morning pages, I've actually like my fingers have calloused and I've been able to sit and write longer as time has gone on. So I'm interested to see how that develops when I start to integrate it into my practice. I really do like Goldberg's philosophy behind it. One thing that I found about my creative practice and my spiritual practice overall is that daily practice is the way to engage with it the most like succinctly. If you really want something in your life, then you engage with it through daily practice. And that means carving out time and stepping up and doing that and setting realistic goals. I used to set really lofty goals and then I would constantly fall short of them and then stop doing what I was doing because that led to me feeling as though I had failed. So I am trying to move away from that. Working on daily practice is something that I often share in my Patreon group. I currently don't have anybody in my daily tarot offering tiers, but I do often share extra tarot readings that I pull for myself, and reading the tarot every day has become part of my daily practice, and like asking certain questions in my journal and writing about them and engaging in that inner reflection has become part of my daily practice. And I think that daily practice is something that is something that can help our lives to feel more sacred. And I enjoy the fact that Goldberg finds a way to kind of combine this idea of like spirituality and writing and daily practice, and it comes together in one package, but it's with the idea that eventually you will have like this work of writing. In Thunder and Lightning, she talks about doing writing practice for at least 2 years, a few times a week, before like even trying to put something together. I will say I've been doing, it's been 150 days of morning pages for me almost. And so I'm not going to be holding back putting out writing because of writing practice necessarily, but I do think it's something that's going to help me stay engaged as a writer in a daily fashion, so that it becomes more a part of my daily practice, just like morning pages have become more embedded in my daily practice. And I think that that is something that leads to a more sacred and more grounded day for me when I start the day off with those daily rituals. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more. The next video will probably be another journal with me, and I'm hoping to have a journal finished soon for those who enjoy seeing flip throughs. And be sure to check out my Patreon and my Etsy shop. I just dropped some new paintings and I have some other new mixed media pieces coming there soon. I hope you guys have a lovely week. Happy Monday.